Hey, Chachi. Hey, Chachi. Chachi, what's this? You know, I just can't stress how much my little dog, it just becomes a family member and just ingrained so deeply. I'm sure many of people know that, but for me, it's my first dog, and I just can't stress how much she means to me. Okay, it's a Wednesday, and we have a blue sky in the city of Vancouver, and I am going to be heading into this little studio and making some headway on my trophy project. Yes, folks. Well, I just got out into my shop here, and shop, you know, is it a shop? I try to call it a studio when I'm thinking about it. This is a studio. I have a product here. It is a wood conditioner. So supposed to allow the stain to be even. You apply it, wait a couple of hours, and then the wood will absorb the stain a little bit better, so they say. Or is it just a ploy to sell another product? Yeah, beautiful day today in our fair, in our beautiful city. I pitched 2 innings last night. Felt really good, actually. It was a great night down at our home field. The park that we play at, you know, if you drove by, you wouldn't think it was a ball field. It is an open grass, great big area where there is a rugby clubhouse called the Marilomas. The Marilomas is the name of the team. And in that ground, which is a really large field, there's some diamonds on the corners, and we have to resurrect our own fence each game and take it down, which is fine. It's a great area in the city, very vibrant, lots of people coming and going, exercising, dogs. There's a cricket, they play cricket down there, so the cricket guys are always practicing. Traditionally it's a rugby clubhouse. It's like 100 years old or something. It has a really cool history, and most of us are really proud, actually, to be part of that whole scene down there. And everybody that comes to our league really enjoys the clubhouse after. I remember years ago, I first arrived at Vancouver. I really loved it, and I still do. Look forward to getting down there and competing. Yeah, last night was fun. I had I was able to throw a lot of change-ups last night, and my change-up was working really good, actually. I kept them off balance. I gave up a run, but I blame that on myself. I actually fooled the battery. He kind of was way ahead on it. It was a change-up, and he stuck the bat out and got a hit to drive in a run, which was also my fault since I walked the guy. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. Once you're ready, once you commit into putting on some product here, after you've kind of done a lot of work on the wood, like yesterday, although I might have not shown it so well, I did put some time in sanding, right? And after you do that, and you have the confidence to say, okay, that's it, I'm surrendering with the sanding, and then you start to put the product on, that's when the visibility of it, the tangible, it just looks, it starts to take that look that you were anticipating, and I always love it. And I do have a lot of work still to do with some details to come, but once you start to put some product on it, that's when things kind of move forward. What's going to happen today, folks? In this world of ours, you just never know what kind of news you'll get, what will go down, who's going to pass away, who's going to wage war, who's going to discover the cure for whatever. She's a crapshoot all the way. Got stuff covered here. Okay. I almost have every little nook and cranny covered here. That's a really, I didn't have enough time. I wanted to do this last night, or yesterday before I went to my ball game, and that way I could have come in and seen where, and put a stain on it, but I'm okay with where I'm at right now. And the application directions are wait 2 hours. to put a stain on it after this product. So it'll probably be longer than 2 hours for me to do that, but I'm gonna wipe it down, get the excess off. Hopefully that product does do what it intends to. Allows and allows the stain to penetrate evenly is what it's supposed to do. Just using old work shirts as for my rags. It's kind of sad when one of your favorite shirts goes down in the blaze. Okay, well, I think you guys can see just a little bit of product on it. Mind you, the stain that I put on is going to be a brownish, I think. Old leather. The old leather look I'm going for. Okay, so where are we at? We got a wood conditioner. That's going to take a couple of hours to dry. I have this base here, and what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to scribe a little pencil mark on my base to where the glove is going to be, because I haven't sanded this base fully yet. Now, with that pencil mark, that shows me where I can drill, like on the bottom of this, you know, the glove's gonna sit right here, so I'm gonna have to drill some holes below, and I just want to make sure they line up perfectly. So I'm gonna do that first, and then also the bat will be sitting right here, and I will also be drilling holes in the bottom of the base from below to secure the bat into place. So I'm going to do that first, and then I am going to finish sanding the base, staining it, and then it is just going to be sitting there ready. And then once my glove is stained, I'm hoping later today, I'm going to be able to secure that glove to the base, and then I'm going to be able to play around. I think the last thing that's going to be done is the bat, because as this ball slides into the glove like this, I'm going to have to do some fine tuning on this bat. So once I get the ball all done, which is probably coming in the next few days, the bat I will wait for, and that'll be the last thing to put on. So we are moving ahead. I think I'm excited. I actually threw in a Kathleen Edwards album. What was it called? Trailer? I think that's the album that kind of gave her a little bit of fame. I like listening to it. There's a real edge to it. Canadian. She's a Canadian girl too. So what I'm doing here is I'm just going to, this is the top of my base. I got a couple of holes marked off here. I'm going to drill through first, and that way it'll give me the hole on that side, and that way I'll know where to center my counter sunk hole to hide the big screws that are going to hold this sucker in. Battery. These little batteries, they last about 2 minutes. Yes, sirree. So that's the bit there. I'm gonna just drill, you know, this is the bottom, so those are my two, you know, that's the top I drilled down through. These are the two bottoms. I'm just gonna drill a little hole like this one, the countersink. So when I put the screw in, you know, I can put a little, I can cover that with a little, oh my God, I'm having a brain fart to even remember what the term is for those things. Plug. I can plug it. I think they're called, this bit here, I think it's called a Forster bit. Well, this battery, this is dull. Over years of use. I gotta go get one of my better drills. This little thing is not gonna cut it. Oh, your face is on 6 copies. That's better. I picked up a little, I did the Milwaukee thing there a few weeks ago. Some nice fat batteries, and they're pretty good. It's been treating me well. Just gives a little bit more, when you countersink, you can hide them from below, not that it matters, it's on the base, but it just gives a little bit more bite. Gives the screw a little bit more length up into the glove. That battery, holy God, I'm not doing very good with my battery charging here today. This is my 4th battery trying to do this. This one's full of juice. Okay, me likes. So I'm going to run through the same process with the bat right now. So I'll put the bat where I want it positioned. At the end of the day, I'm going to draw my, I'll scribe it again. with a pencil, and pre-drill down through to know where I'm coming, come back up with some more holes, and then I'm gonna sand this base and stain it, and it's gonna be the first thing that's kind of ready to work with. So yeah. Yeah, I got my old, not my old, but this is my most recent notebook. And, you know, what am I trying to do here? I am trying to, ultimately, to be transparent, I am trying to connect with someone out there that is going to maybe be interested in what I'm kind of doing out of my studio here and what I'm capable of doing with either a sculpture, a mentoring relationship with some young person that's wanting to get to use their hands, learn some tools, and have some conversations about what's going on, and or somebody that's interested in doing some work on their space. And that could be a fence with a little bit of style to it. That could be their little small business that they're wanting to change the whole feel and the atmosphere and stuff. So hopefully through this channel and through this little what I'm doing here, I'll be able to connect that way. I'm not, you know, interested in saying like or subscribe or doing all that stuff. Like it's you know, that's, I understand that that's what has to be done you know, in order for certain people to see things, but I'm just starting out very slowly, very organically. I'm just doing myself, I'm just being myself, and I'm just trying to you know, communicate what kind of work I'm doing, like what I'm interested in reading, and how I'm trying to connect with society. And, you know, I'm one of those people that doesn't fall on the black or white thinking, the left or the right, or any of that. Like, you know, I think there's nuances to everything. I think that most things are complex. I think that most people are good people and just want to do the best in their life. And but I do happen to be one of those people that's a little bit concerned at what's going on in our institutions ideologically. I tend to view myself as somebody that perhaps could be classified into the classical liberal category about, you know, merit, about not caring, you know, the content of somebody's character as opposed to what they look like. And don't get me wrong, I understand the injustices that have gone on and continue to go on, but in order to move forward as a group of people, I just tend to disagree a little bit with many of the things that are being pushed to through a lot of people. So I wrote down something that I thought was good, and this is just pertaining to that. This is just pertaining to, you know, why is there so much division in our society? Why is it so polarized, right? So this guy here says, these are his words, and I forget who said it. And it says, "This is going to sound, I fear, too vague, but I'm pretty sure it's the right answer. People need to approach each other with more curiosity, more imagination, and more generosity of spirit. If you go into the world imagining that there is vile racism around every corner and that every nuance is potentially a microaggression, then you will no doubt find things to validate that perspective. On the other hand, if you give people a chance to tell you what they really think, how they really feel, what world they want, you might well be surprised at how much we are all alike, and the thing I fear most is the process that is unfolding is doing a very good job at making us ununderstandable to each other. And you know, a lot of people that hear that, they might not even have any idea what I'm talking about. They might not that, you know, things might not be coming to them, or they might not be worried about some stuff, but there's a lot of us that are. And how do you get back to basics is what I'm trying to do in my studio and through my work. And another thing I wrote down, this was, I don't know, a few years ago, was I went into Aesop's Fables, and I checked out, like, I just went down and wrote down his fables and just wrote down the lesson that was in it. And so, okay, the name of the fable, first one, The Dog and the Wolf. And the lesson that can be learned is you better starve free than be a fat slave. The eagle and the arrow. We often give our enemies the means for our own destruction. And that can mean many things, right? Like, you know, holding anger within, blaming others, playing victimhood, etc., etc. It just really will not get you anywhere with yourself, right? You gotta have a clear mind and a clear body in order to truly succeed, in my opinion. Okay, this one, the ant and the chrysalis. Appearances are deceptive. The ass and his masters. They that find discontentment in one place is not likely to find happiness in another. Are not likely to find happiness in another. And that, you know, like, I can relate to that, and I'm sure most people can. It's like, you know, I'm living in beautiful Vancouver, and I'm hearing many people complain about things, and I'm one of those at times too, right? So I've tried to not do that. It's like, wherever you are, you have to make the best of it. Otherwise, you're just wasting away precious days of your own life. The bald man and the fly. Revenge will hurt the avenger. The bee and Jupiter. Evil wishes, like chickens, come home to roost. The dancing monkeys. Not everything you see is what it appears to be. And, you know, I remember doing these as children. Like, these are just going back to the basics. And are we throwing out basic wisdom in today's society with ideological things that are being pushed on whatever side you look at? The four oxen and the lion. United we stand, divided we fall. I mean, folks. The fox who had lost his tail. Misery loves company. I'm telling you, these are just as simple as can be, but most of us can relate it to things that are going on in society here. The fox and the goat. Look before you leap. The frogs asking for king. Let well enough alone. These are just really fantastic lessons. The hare and the tortoise. Slow and steady wins the race. I always just love that one. Hercules and the wagoner. The gods will help them that help themselves. The horse hunter and stag. If you allow men to use you for your own purposes, they will use you for theirs. I got a couple of more pages here. The hunter and the woodman. The hero is brave in deeds as well as words. Exactly. You know, Shakespeare, what did he say? Action is eloquence. It's kind of my problem too. Like, you know, actions do speak louder than words, and how many of us are just talking the talk oftentimes and just, you know, not really doing it. The lion and the eagle. Try before you trust. The man and the satyr. How do you say that? Satyr? Some can blow hot and blow cold with the same breath. And that right there, folks, is something to think about, right? You got to know when you're being bullshitted. The monkey and the dolphin. Those who pretend to be what they are not, sooner or later find themselves in deep water. And the monkey and their mother. The best intentions will not always ensure success. The mule. Every truth has two sides. The one-eyed doe. Trouble comes from the direction we least expect it. The serpent and the file. It is useless attacking the insensible. And that is a good one too, right? Like, you know, the thief and the innkeeper. Every tale is not to be believed. The wolf and the kid. It is easy to be brave from a safe distance. The wolf in sheep's clothing. Appearances are deceptive. Okay, so there's a little review on Aesop's Fables, and I actually think that they're really worth thinking about, going back to what we were teaching our children for many, many, many years, and now it seems as though in certain places and we're throwing a lot of these basic ideas out the door, and you know, I'm just trying to do my best from my studio to do my work that is honest, and you know, it gets to your you know, it gets the creativity of it and the use of hands with natural materials that I find on beaches or anywhere. You know, I think it does go a certain way when they are presented as a finished product. So I'm going to get at sanding my base here, and hopefully there's a low tide and I can go down to the beach today and let my dog run around and have some fun.
Mama said the devil, Mama said the pistol is the devil's right name. Devil's right. Devil.
Man, Steve Earle. I have a few Steve Earle albums. That's a greatest hits compilation, but there's something pretty real about his whole thing. Okay, well, I got the base sanded, ladies and gentlemen, and I am putting on this is a chunk of fur, and I am putting on right now just a natural oil, tongue seed, well, I don't know if it's a natural oil, tongue seed oil. That's all I'm going to do. It'll just, it'll oil up this wood. It gives it that beautiful fur look. And it was one of my, Jay, who I've mentioned several times, the guy whose house I helped him with his house build. He's brought fur to my attention, actually. He uses fur in some of his projects, and he just, you know, I never really thought about fur too much until I started listening to him a little bit, and it really is a beautiful grains in it, and it's just, you know, the color of it just pops out, and it's really nice. So I'm putting that coat on, gonna let her sit a little bit, rub it in. Does have a little bit of a smell to it, nothing too strong, but you know you're alive. Put it this way, it allows you to realize that you're alive. Get that rubbed in, and that'll be the first. Well, I don't want to say it's fully finished because I'm going to add some stuff to the bottom of this when I'm kind of done. But after I put my screws in, but I had to get it stained and to kind of begin with. So yeah, I feel as though some major progress is happening here, folks, and always feels good. You're doing a sculpture. Yeah, like, you know, I've had several projects over the years, and you know, there's something really deep happens when you put so much time into an artistic or creative project. It becomes really personal, and letting it go. You know, when I was younger and just discovering my process, letting something go, finishing it, and it was really difficult. Like it's almost like I never wanted to finish it. And as I get older, it has become much easier. I can surrender. But you know, that's what happens. I'm here making this glove. I'm thinking about a lot of things in my own life and trying to you know, do the best I can. I'm thinking about the kids in the Little League, and I want to create something special for them and have it kind of, you know, East Vancouver here. We are from an area of Vancouver where, you know, traditionally a lot of artists, and you know, it's a little bit more free wheeling than maybe other parts of Vancouver. So I wanted to have something that was a little East Van, had some real deep personality to it, you know, had a little bit of a West Coast feel, out of wood. And I think a woman named Roberta, she was the president of the Hastings Little League for a while. She's the one that had the belief in me after looking through my website, and I met with her a couple of times. We were going to do some work on a ball field, and it's because of her that I've been able to do this project, so I thank Roberta for that. Okay, so we got that base stained. She's gonna be ready to rock and roll in a couple, whatever. It's gonna take me a while to stain this glove and get that to where I want it. I have to start playing around with that right now. Well, I got my big glove right here, and you can't really see, but I got a paintbrush. I got some dark stain. It's been 2 hours since this wood conditioning product has been on. That's the direction. And I am going to begin the process of putting some color to my engraving that names the trophy. And I will show you the first T. So that's what it's gonna, and then when I put the color, I gotta let that dry, and then I'll put the a lighter brown on it for the glove, and put the lace in it, and very soon we're gonna start to get a look at some details and finish, and kind of hopefully the vision that I had is realized, as one of my friends always says when he's doing he's a musician. He just says, vision realized. So this video is kind of getting a little long, so rather than me sit here and you, I'm actually just gonna go back and play some tunes, check in, and show you guys what it looks like when it's finished. Right now I got and it's gonna be called the Fred Ritchie Invitation. Well, I did a little bit of staining. I decided to go dark inside the web there. There it is, the Fred Ritchie Invitational. I got some lines on the finger there. This little shape here ended up kind of looking like a heart. I didn't intend it, but I'll go with that. And now I gotta let that dry, and then I'll put a nice brown stain on the glove, and then I'll be able to lace it up after that, and then it will be ready to secure to the base. So I'm kind of happy with the way that's gonna look. It's gonna be pretty cool, and moving right along. Okay. Yeah. This, I'm going to do a little bit more staining here. This is an apron that my sister's husband, my brother-in-law, Corey, made. And Corey is just a stellar guy, and talented, smart, and industrious, and many things. Funny, easy to talk to, everything you can imagine. Okay, so I got my ball engraved. We're going with it. I've waited for some dates. They can't really track it down. I think this is it. So I'm gonna start to, I got a very, very thin brush, and I am just gonna start to fill in with, dip it in the stain and just delicately do it. And it's gonna take a while, but it's kind of a meditative thing. And to be honest with you, I kind of want a meditative thing right now. So I'll kind of tune in when I get these words all stained, and I'll show you the video of that afterwards. Doesn't take much. The stain spreads so easily, so you have to really be gentle here and just touch it in. But I don't know, it's kind of worth it. Of course it's worth it. Okay, that's there's an L, Langley. Langley won it in 1996. So that's where I start. Well, I got the, that's all stained. It might look like paint, but it's all engraved. There's a little bit of running, there's a little bit of run on some of them. I might have put a little bit too much on there, so I'm going to have to wait till it dries, and then tomorrow I'll give it a quick little dusting with the sandpaper. It happens, but I'm quite pleased that I got them all colored in. I wasn't expecting to do that today, so that's a bonus. And then I'm going to start to be able to, after I do sand that, I'll be able to put the stitches in tomorrow, and it'll start to look pretty cool. And then put a coat of the tongue seed oil on it, and then the ball is kind of ready to go. And so the glove next to the ball, it's taking shape. Like I say, the glove's going to have a brown stain on it. All those holes are for the laces, and once all the stains are on and a little the seams and the laces, and it'll kind of come together. So I'm gonna call this a pretty productive day from my behalf. I got the base stained. The base is right there, just kind of drying and getting ready. So that's all ready to go. Got the ball, all of the past winners are colored in, and the glove has the black part stained, so it's just the brown left. And yeah, shouldn't be long now until I finish this little project.